Yesterday, the A's honored the 1973 world champion Oakland Athletics. The on-field ceremony was a first-class gesture as current members of the Green and Gold escorted the honorees to their respective positions, and the MVP, Reggie Jackson, threw out the first pitch. Again, things were going well as the A's put up a two-spot early, but the pitching couldn't hold on as the Orioles roared back, taking Game 3 of this four-game series. Today, the A's will look to Bartolo Colon to snap them out of their funk. The veteran is just what the Athletics need to cool off the bats of the Orioles. It's the A's and the O's. Next. It is Little League Day at the Coliseum. Over 13,000 Little Leaguers and their parents on hand before the game. But the big news today for the Athletics is the return of Cespedes. He's going to play left field and hit cleanup today, so that is good news for an A's offense that is struggling. So the A's are trying to avoid being swept. It's the A's and the Orioles. Game 4 of the series. It's coming up on Comcast Sportsnet California. It is also Hyundai Sunday, Comcast Sportsnet California, and it's brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fossey, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, the numbers will tell you that the A's struggle without Cespedes in the lineup. Now, Ray, listen, it's one player, only 4 or 5 at-bats per game, but this is a guy who affects the rest of the lineup, and he's back in there today. You know, Kevin, I think it's shown last year the A's had a much better record when Cespedes played, and it showed also in the 15 days that he was out. 4-10 in the 14 games when Cespedes was on the disabled list. I think it's great that he is back. The A's get a power hitter back in the middle of the lineup. Everybody else can kind of move around in the lineup because their power hitter is back. He had a phenomenal beginning to the season, and again, the fact that he spent just 15 days on the disabled list, let's hope that this is the only time throughout this season that he's on the DL, because the A's need his bat in the lineup. More importantly, they need his presence in the lineup, and it's going to be there today. And when you're trying to break a losing streak, it's nice to send a veteran to the mound. That would be Bartolo Colon today. And Ray, he's coming off a 7-inning shutout at Fenway. That was that very cold night in Boston. The thing about Bartolo Colon, you give him runs, he knows how to pitch with a lead. He did that in Boston. The A's scored 13 runs. It was cold, but just like Colon of old, fastball after fastball, he threw a few sliders towards the end. But as a hitter, you know what you're going to get. Surprisingly, the Red Sox swinging through fastballs that I'm sure they knew that's what they're going to get. And the Orioles today will be seeing a lot of fastballs. Let's just hope the A's can score Colon some runs. So the A's need to avoid being swept today and maybe get a win and get some momentum going into a big series with the Angels. The Angels will be here tomorrow night. We'll have lineups and first pitch from the Coliseum when we come back. It's the A's and the Orioles coming up on Comcast Sportsnet California.
Sportsnet California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. The Chipotle Chicken Club combo is back for a limited time at Jack in the Box. Try one today with fries and a drink for just $4.99 plus tax.
Beautiful day for baseball in Cespedes. The A's and the Orioles, the final game of this 4-game series, and it's been all Orioles so far in the series. A's will try to change that today. A's have taken the field, all whites today. Check the game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. 69 degrees, and it's a very, very nice day. Not a cloud in the sky. Lots of sunshine. Lots of little leaguers in the house. So it's a good day for baseball all around. Let's look at the starting lineup for the Baltimore Orioles. Nate McLeod will lead off and play left field. He's had a very good series for the O's. Nick Markakis hits third right in front of Manny Machado. Then Adam Jones, Chris Davis, Matt Wieters, J.J. Hardy, Ryan Flaherty, and Nolan Reimold will DH and hit ninth.
And Bartolo Colon starting for the Athletics, and he ended up walking a batter in his last start. Jacoby Ellsbury, but he has been outstanding for 4 starts that he has made in this young season. 3-0, had a couple of starts against the Orioles last year, pitched very well against them. A 1-0 record. We'll talk about the one game that he pitched unbelievably into the 9th inning. Got a no decision, but Colon, we know what he's going to throw. So does everybody else. Just a matter of how effective he is with the fastball.
So Nate McLeod is ready, so is Bartolo Colon. It's Earth Week. No need to wait for special occasions to use your cloth napkins. They have half the total eco-impact compared to paper napkins. Using them daily saves trees and reduces garbage. Green is universal. So Colon kicks, and the first pitch of the ball game is a fastball, swing and a miss.
It's amazing. We talk about the fastballs. McLeod just swung through the first fastball. Colon does a good job. He must hide it, deception, something, because it's amazing the hitters, how they swing and miss, as McLeod has done twice.
And we're talking about a 90, 91 mile an hour fastball.
And there is movement. He'll use both sides of the plate. Percentage of fastballs.
90.
Yep.
Foul territory down the left field line. Donaldson is right on the mound, and he makes the catch.
Is he any good or what?
That is a very difficult play, especially for the first play of the game.
He did it yesterday, sliding into the bullpen, a spectacular play. So you look back to last weekend in Tampa, he caught a ball down the bullpen, indoors, and then back-to-back games outdoors here at the Coliseum, up the incline. Get out of the way, Mr. Security Guard, because Josh Donaldson's going to be down all over you. Had to pick up his chair, almost ran right into Donaldson.
So one out. Here's Manny Machado. First pitch strike. The Orioles have won the first 3 games of the series by scores of 10-2, 3-0, and 7-3. So they have outscored the A's 20-5 in the series. Oh, 0-2 to Machado with Markakis waiting in the on-deck circle. Sogard gobbles it up, and that's out number 2. So Markakis will hit with 2 outs. Defensively for the A's today, Yoenis Cespedes off the disabled list. He's in left field. Crispin center. Young is in right. And it's Donaldson and Rosales, Sogard and Moss on the infield. Jaso doing the catching. So Adam Rosales at short, Sogard at second. Jed Lowry was in the original lineup, but woke up with a little bit of a stiff neck, so Bob Melvin decided to rest him today. He could pinch hit if need be. So Lowry not in there today.
John Hirschbeck, the home plate umpire, has been known throughout his career umpiring that although he does not like to have people even think about him being a pitcher-friendly umpire, but I think we'll see that.
3 up, 3 down inning for Bartolo Colon. Bottom of the first coming up. Miguel Gonzalez is going to start for the Orioles. No score after half an inning. All right, here come the Athletics in the bottom of the first inning. Let's check out the lineup. Crisp, Jaso Smith, Cespedes, Moss, Donaldson, Young, Sogard, Rosales.
And the A's seeing young Miguel Gonzalez for the first time, and came up last year. You see his record on the season of 2-1, but the way the Orioles are bringing pitchers up, starters, as we have mentioned in this series, Gonzalez, 2-4 seam fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, and with the bullpen strength, Gonzalez just trying to give him some innings for Buck Showalter and Rick Adair, the pitching coach.
Here's the defense. McLeod is in left, Jones in center, Markakis in right. Machado, Hardy, Flaherty, Davis on the infield, and Matt Wieters, after DHing yesterday, is back behind the plate today.
He may be catching a lot now with Teagard.
That's right.
It's unfortunate. He and look at Cervelli of the Yankees out also.
That's right. Cervelli went on the. He's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, maybe.
Well, if you have a broken finger or hand somewhere in their throwing hand, then it takes usually 6 weeks for a bone to heal. And then the time to come back to get ready to play again.
Crisp, Jaso Smith here in the bottom of the first against Miguel Gonzalez, who's a pretty good story. We'll tell you about how he got to the big leagues and now is been pitching very well for the Orioles. 2-1 the count to Coco Crisp. From Mexico, not a real big guy, 28 years old. The Orioles signed him as a minor league free agent going into the 2012 season. Went to the minor leagues, pitched in the bullpen, but then got to the big leagues for a little while, was sent back down, came back the middle of the year and went into the starting rotation, and he was terrific. A pleasant surprise for the Orioles. Knocked out by Gonzalez. He scrambles after it, throw to first in time to get Crisp on a very close play.
Coco jumping in the bag, and maybe just that slight. When he jumped, he just could not make it. Nice recovery by Gonzalez. The ball hit very hard, and like it might be far enough away from him, but Coco right there with the little stride, see him going down the line. But a nice play by the pitcher. Gonzalez reaching back to his right on a ball that would have been up the middle. Watch Coco right there. It's kind of airborne. Whenever first baseman Davis caught the ball, he's trying to call himself safe. It didn't work out.
So it was close, but it looked like Bob Davidson got it right.
Hitters, runners like to run through the bag. They keep that last stride low instead of getting airborne. You just can't go anywhere when you're airborne, and you see it too often.
High pop up Watch the sun, always an issue this time of day, but the shortstop Hardy handles it. So let's take a close look at the play at first.
See where the ball is. See, Coco's airborne, and the ball is in the glove just as he hit the front part of the bag, which is the best. But I guess you could say that in those last strides, if they had been down close to the ground running through, that might have been just enough for Davidson to call him safe.
Our Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort.
Even an Exmo, you didn't get the foot down quick enough. Speed it up maybe, twice the speed.
A little bit outside to Seth Smith, hitting in the third spot. One for 7 in the series for Smith. Changeup from Miguel Gonzalez, and a good one. So we told you that Gonzalez came up and was very good last year. He finished 9-4 with a 3.25 ERA in 15 starts, and those starts were in the second half when the Orioles were right in the middle of a pennant race. I think you and I a couple times said, hey, that Gonzalez guy is pitching for Baltimore. I've never heard of him before. He's pitching big games. One and two the count to Smith. Just missed. 2-2. Smith has just 4 hits in his last 26 at bats. It's that one on the ground. Reached for it just a little bit, and both pitchers have 3 up, 3 down, first innings. No score after 1 from the Coliseum. Top of the second inning. The A's and the Orioles on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. The umbrella's out, not because it's raining, because it is bright sunshine.
Some places probably raining, but not here.
Adam Jones to lead it off, and he'll be followed by Davis and Wieters here in the second inning.
You know, 4-game sweeps are very hard. A's did it last year against the Yankees, but trying to avoid the 4-game sweep today against a very, very hot Orioles club. playing with a lot of confidence, and they should, with a record of 15-9 in a very tough Eastern Division.
Orioles have won 5 of their last 6. And nice play. So we had a good play down the right field line yesterday, the ball boy. And our gentleman down the left field line, watch this play. Whoa, that ball was hooking too.
Yeah, it was hooking, and the guys were hitting the deck. That's gone. Saved my life. Thank you.
Toward right field, hit pretty well. Young spinning around near the wall, and he's got just enough room to make the catch. Time now for a forward right choice. Yesterday, the A's honored the 1973 World Championship team. On-field ceremony included current players escorting the former players to their positions, which was a very nice move by the A's organization. Reggie Jackson was the man who was honored with the bobblehead, and he threw out the first pitch to our good friend Ray Fosse, who handled it nicely. Saw a little snow cone, but nothing major.
Handcuffed me. Reggie said he didn't want to stand on the mound. He said, but if I'm on the mound, the ball is thrown down. He's afraid he's going to throw it in the dirt. I said, I would prefer you throwing it down in that area versus where you did. Another 1.5 feet higher to hit me right in the chops.
Just into the seats above the A's bullpen.
You know, Cap, I think one of the most impressive things about yesterday, almost 32,000 on hand, but so many in the stands, in the seats as the ceremonies began. And I think that's always impressive when the fans realize what's going on. They get out and they honor the team as they did yesterday in the 73 team. And the current A's players, Josh Donaldson was inspired. You know, he was, the way he played yesterday, you could tell that he wanted to impress the team that won the championship 40 years ago.
Fastball on 0-2. Davis swings and misses, and that's out number 2.
John Jaso came up to throw the ball around the infield, looked to third, nobody was there with the shift. But a good fastball tailing away from Davis, and John Jaso positioned perfectly to the outside part of the plate. Jaso had to start the throw around at shortstop. That's how far Donaldson was over.
Last 9 starts going back to last year, 7-1 for Bartolo Colon.
5 walks in 60 innings. Unbelievable.
Foul territory, more action for Donaldson. Can he do it again? And not quite. He had a beat on it.
Yep.
But it was a basket catch with your back to home plate, which is extremely difficult to do.
The way he is going, you figure if anybody's going to do it, he could. And of course, he to the right of the mound. That's always dangerous. You kind of peek down, you see dirt, you know you're close to the bullpen mound. But yeah, that's a tough play. Even though he played football off the tip of his glove, could not get it in the pocket.
In the hole, Rosales, he's going to show off that arm, and he does in time to get leaders. 6 up, 6 down for Bartolo Colon, and Yoenis Cespedes is going to lead things off in the bottom of the 2nd.
Los Angels. That's starting tomorrow night through Wednesday. Best ticket discounts are offered direct from BAs, but act fast. Dynamic deal. Ticket pricing can change at any time. Purchase tickets quickly to get the best deal. For more information and tickets, visit OaklandAthletics.com/dynamic deals. They are dynamic deals. You should take advantage of it. Angels, the Southern California rivals of the Athletics, be in town tomorrow night. And you know they're going to be playing much better than when the A's faced them in Anaheim.
So Cespedes steps in for his first at bat, coming back from the disabled list. He was placed on the disabled list the 13th of April with strained muscle in his left hand. So the first pitch is a fastball for a strike.
Again, we talk about the rehab assignment that players are allowed to, instead of coming directly to the big leagues after being on a disabled list, they can take a rehab assignment to the minor leagues, and Cespedes was able to do that. And that's always great for a player, pitcher or position player. And this is what happened, the slide into second base. He banged the right hand into the ground but rolled over. Watch the left hand. When he tripped, he slipped and then banged. He kind of hyperextended his left hand, left wrist, and was placed on the DL. Well, he takes some violent swings, so hands are always important for Cespedes.
And 0-2 pitch right on the corner. Cespedes thought it was outside. John Hirschbeck thought otherwise, and that's the first strikeout for Miguel Gonzalez.
And that's the guy you have to be concerned about that guy in the blue, named John Hirschbeck, because Chetty Davis knows it. And this is the Tommy Cam. This is the pitch, and pretty good location right on the outside corner.
So 1 out, and Brendan Moss steps in. Now Josh Reddick is getting the day off as well, and Bob Melvin said, well, I want to get another right-handed bat in the lineup, which makes you think, well, that doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't you want another left-handed bat in the lineup against Miguel Gonzalez? But the numbers bear out exactly what the manager means, because left-handed hitters are hitting just 190 against Gonzalez. Right-handed hitters are hitting 341.
See the last pitch? That's what happens.
Exactly.
That change up, tailing away from the lefties.
So that is why Bob Melvin said, well, let's get another right-handed bat in there. Nate McLeod, he had it in his glove and he dropped it. Boy, he came a long ways and he got a glove on it. Just could not hold on. Almost a terrific play, but it'll go as a hit for Moss. McLeod is mad that he didn't hold on to it.
Well, they say in your favorite sport, the ground cannot cause a fumble. Well, the ground caused the fumble here because he hit the ground hard with the hand. And you know, when you reach out right there, he had the ball in his glove. They use a huge glove, the outfielders do. Got it up in the webbing, and he could not hold on. You can picture your hand in a glove. And if you can squeeze it in the pocket, you can hold it. But the webbing is so long for outfielders' gloves.
Flops around a little bit.
When it gets in there, and there's just no way you can grasp it, hold it. And I know your favorite sport is baseball, but I know you're big in football.
Second, close second is football, yeah.
Just like the draft just recently, right? That's not a military draft.
Anybody who sits and watches the NFL draft has to like it, and I did watch it a little bit, so I'm guilty.
Well, you couldn't hide from it when you're hearing it or, you know, listening, watching.
That is very true.
They're your numbers, Kip, and they really very important numbers, and that's what managers, hitting coaches, everybody looks at when you try to put a lineup together for the manager, Bob Melvin, and he knows those numbers. Lefty Brandon Moss did get a hit inside out swing on a fastball.
Donaldson hitting .318 thanks to his big day yesterday. 2 homers, 16 RBIs. This one's popped up toward the first baseman, Chris Davis, right near the bag. He has it. Donaldson was 4 for 4 yesterday, and he made some nice plays defensively.
Very aggressive swing in the bat, doubled off the wall, and Mike Gallego sent the runner so he could score. And This ball off the foot of the pitcher. And then a base hit up the middle, a high chopper. And might as well just complete it with a double down the right field line. Yeah, he had a huge day. And again, as we pointed out yesterday, we were talking about the aggressiveness of Donaldson. Just looked like every time at the plate he was going to get a hit, and he did.
First pitch to Chris Young is chopped toward Machado at third. He's going to go the short way side, retired. Moss had a hit. He's stranded, and we're moving to the third inning. No score. Bottom three in their order. Hardy, Flaherty, and Reimold. Cologne 6 up, 6 down so far with a strikeout. 15 strikes and 3 balls, which is about right for him.
That's Bartolo.
Now, he did get credit for a complete game shutout, which that's what he had in that rain shortened game. There's a shot. Rosales can't handle it, so it'll go as a hit.
If Rosales comes up with it, he might throw out Hardy. That's why Hardy was busting hard. This was off the foot of Bartolo Colon. Left heel, carried him over to Rosales. Backhand, could not hang on. He was ready to fire it. And he mightn't have gotten Hardy. He's such a strong arm.
So no need to check on Bartolo Colon. He's fine. What's a leadoff single? But as we were saying, Ray, even though it was 7 innings, rain short, it was a complete game, and it was a shutout. 10th career shutout for Bartolo Colon. And today he is going after career win number 175. Strike outside corner to Ryan Flaherty. Flaherty hitting 125. He's got 6 hits in 48 at bats. Into the high sunshine, Coco Chris coming in. He's got the glasses on and he makes the catch. So Flaherty's retired, and that'll bring up Nolan Reimold. Doesn't happen very often where you see a designated hitter batting 9th in the lineup. I think you'll see it occasionally when you play a National League team and they just insert a hitter into that ninth spot.
Exactly. It's good. Yeah, they don't want to mess up the rest of the lineup.
That's right. Reimold is 2 for 7 in this series. He's got a double. He's walked a couple times.
Okay, if you look at the Orioles lineup, I mean, that's pretty much the way they have it set up, because 1 through 7, actually 1 through 8 with Flaherty. They're not going to change that order.
And if you don't have that big thumper DH, it's going to fit in the middle somewhere.
That big thumper for the Yankees right now is Travis Hafner.
Another home run yesterday.
That's a perfectly suited stadium for him. What's fortune right field.
And it's funny, we all know who the Yankees are missing, but it's the guys like Hafner and Vernon Wells and Overbay hit a home run today. They're playing really well. The Yankees won today 3-2 over the Blue Jays, a 4-game sweep.
That's amazing.
Of the Blue Jays at Yankee Stadium. 15-9 now, the Yankees record. Big swing by Reimold. The Blue Jays are now 9-17, so things are not starting the way, well, everybody thought around baseball for the Jays.
Two-seam fastball elevated a little bit towards the inside of the plate to the right-hander. And that's what makes Bartolo so good, because he throws a lot of fastballs. He gets the movement, but he can elevate, change the eyesight, get down in the zone, away, backdoor two-seamer.
So 1-2 the count. Top of the order, Nate McLouth waiting in the on-deck circle. That Yankee game, Mariano Rivera got his 9th save.
And I wouldn't bet the ranch that he's going to retire until this year.
He's pitching great.
He keeps going that way. What else is he going to do? Wait around 5 years to go to the Hall of Fame? I mean, it's good to see Mariano Rivera back, especially after season-ending injury, surgery last year on his knee.
Next road trip for the A's, which will start next weekend, it will be in New York. So we'll see those Yankees very soon. Boy, it'll be strange, though, playing the Yankees without, obviously, Jeter, but no Teixeira, no A-Rod, no Granderson. That's very strange.
It's a lot of money and a lot of home runs out of the lineup.
Yes, it is. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Jaso's throw is a little high. Sogard reaches up, grabs it, and gets the tag down. So a very nice play by Sogard. Throws out J.J. Hardy, so it's a strikeout. Throw him out, double play. Check it out. Cache Creek Casino Resort. Cache Creek is giving away 16 cars guaranteed. Visit cachecreek.com for information. No score, bottom of the third. For the A's, it'll be Sogard, Rosales, and Crisp. First pitch to Sogard is a strike on the outside corner. Angels and the Mariners are underway up in Seattle. Vargas and Iwakuma. That's a scoreless game in the bottom of the second.
It's a return of Jason Vargas to his former team.
He figured he'd have a win by now. He does not. He's 0-2. Iwakuma is 2-1. He's pitched very well this year for the Mariners.
Mike Selleck did announce the starting pitcher for the Angels tomorrow night. It's going to be Tommy Henson.
Tommy Henson.
It's going to be Dan Straley for the A's.
There's your story of the day.
That's the story.
Dan Straley will be brought up tomorrow. Sogard skies one. Markakis has it. So Straley and Hansen tomorrow. Now we should explain the Dan Straley situation. He's pitching in the Brett Anderson spot, but Brett Anderson will not be placed on the disabled list. A's just felt like the ankle, it's not bad, it's just not quite 100%. They want to miss a spot and they miss a start.
So he's saying it's not bad if it's not good?
But something like that. But he will not go on the disabled list, Brett Anderson. So the A's will have to send somebody out tomorrow, but they do not have to do that today. But Straley will pitch tomorrow.
Well, that could be a one-day move. It's just that the person who goes down has to stay at least 15, or I'm sorry, 10 days. Disabled list is 15 minimum.
So Straley tomorrow in game one of that series against the Angels. Adam Rosales 1 for 6 since coming back to the big leagues.
I asked Rosie about the shot that he took off the left ear flap. And he said, thank God for helmets. He said because the ear flap saved him, and thought he got it more in the temple, but it's a little bit higher in the crown of the head, but still dazed him. And he felt it when he hit the ground. It was a daze. It wasn't just Adam Rosales popping up. Definitely affected him, and turned away, got it, popped up, and he said right there he was dazed and felt it, but he turned his head just enough. And the new helmets, the hundreds that they're called, that's supposed to withstand a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and he said it definitely helped him. Feels no effect, or felt no effect after the game, but man, it's scary.
So what is the difference with the helmet? They're just a little thicker?
Thicker, yes. And you know, remember last year, or maybe a couple years ago, they had some of and they were huge helmets, and guys wouldn't wear them. So Rawlings Sporting Goods developed a helmet that was, there's a certain term, and maybe Steve Vucinich could call up and tell us, but it's 100 is the back part, which means that it's supposed to be able, if a 100-mile-an-hour fastball is thrown, they're forced to wear in the minor leagues with double ear flaps, but saw them in Anaheim last year as they were fitting players. Rawlings came in, Jimmy Hughes came in with the prototypes, and they were fitting the players, and then spring training is mandatory that all players wear those, but you can't tell the difference except there is better protection, and especially against a fastball that's thrown that hard, which are very few and far between. But you want as much protection as you get. Rosie said it definitely helped him yesterday.
Coco Crisp. Ground out in the first, and that one is fair down the right field line. And here goes Coco. He's headed for second, and he's going to put on the brakes. Coco goes 0 to 60 quickly.
That's right. Running. Probably do it driving too, but this time he's running. He's thinking 3, but with 2 outs, he picked up his third base coach, Mike Gallego. And the fact that the right fielder Markakis, an outstanding right fielder, got to it quickly, bare hand back in. And Coco's already in scoring position. If you give him third base, he'll take it anyway on a stolen base. But watch how he turns it. That's textbook. And for these little leaguers in the house watching, turn the bag at first perfectly, a very short turn, and then picked up the third base coach about halfway to second, so he knew he had to stop.
He really does have perfect base running technique.
Yeah.
See, he's looking at him right there.
And that's exactly what you do. You do not break stride. You pick up the third base coach. Mike Gallego has his eyes on the ball, and he's able to put up the stop sign. Gags is good. As we showed yesterday, scoring Moss on the ball hit by Donaldson.
Jaso, it's jammed a little bit into the glove of Markakis' side, retired. Crisp with the double. He is stranded, and we're moving to the fourth. No score.
Sportsnet, take your team with you. As always, MLB.TV is celebrating 11 years. Join the millions of fans and subscribe today. Watch every out-of-market game live online on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality. And it is in HD quality. MLB.TV baseball is everywhere. And it is great quality. I've got it on right now?
Yep.
Oh, no.
On my phone. Top of the order for the Orioles. Bunt attempt by McLeod. Called a strike, 0-1. And a quick 0-2. Just one hit for the Orioles in the first 3 innings. That was Hardy's infield single leading off last inning. Fastball runs away. Colon made a couple starts against the Orioles last year. One in April and one in July, and pitched well in both of them. Got a win and a no decision. Base hit by Nate McLeod. This is the start in July. Both the starts were in Baltimore.
Well, the one in April we'll talk about, but in July he was also very good. Maybe his control was not what he wanted, but did not give up a hit with the runner in scoring position. And you're seeing some great fastballs thrown there. Kurt Suzuki doing the catching. You're seeing fastball bring it back to the middle of the plate. And Bartolo good as ever. You can see a little bit warm in Baltimore, as it usually is in July, in humidity. The game in April went 8 in the third innings. Remember that game? He gave up the 2 infield hits in the 9th inning.
That's
Went out to
right,
pitch the 9th.
yeah.
Made a throwing error, put runners at second and third. And then Balfour came in. Wieters hit the double off the left field wall.
He was unhittable for 8 innings,
yeah.
and then he's ended up losing the game.
The 2 infield hits and the one that
That's
he
right.
tried to field and threw wild to first, and ended up being a second and third, but he pitched brilliantly. Great against the Orioles.
Young over. He's going to play it on a hop. McLeod full stop at second. Machado has a hit. 2 on and nobody on.
Now this is the game back in April, and Bartolo, a short hop throw to Derek Barton, and ended up putting the runners at second and third, and then Wilson Bateman, a walk-off 3-run home run. That was after leaders had tied the game in the ninth. So down 2-0, 3 outs to go. The A's ended up losing 5-2.
Well, that was one of those games where we sat there for 2.5 hours, and there was no question whether the A's were going to win the game or not. And then, just like that, they lost,
Yep.
and we couldn't believe it.
Well, and Bob Melvin gave Bartolo Colon the option whether to go out or not. He said, "I'm fine." He went out and should have been able to complete the game.
Markakis swings and misses. Donaldson in on the grass, as is Moss. Now Moss backs up. Markakis, the third place hitter, so he's probably going to be swinging away. Although you never know with Buck Showalter.
You never know, and that's a great point, because that's why Bob Melvin has him there just in case. Oh, like that. That's an unhittable pitch called a strike. Down in the lower part of the strike zone, but John Hirschbeck liked it as the ball just kept sinking down.
So 0-2 with Adam Jones in the on-deck circle. Markakis toward Young. He's going to play it on a hop. Everybody's going to move up a bag. So an 0-2 pitch. Markakis pulled his hands in and got a base hit.
Well, you know, the scouting report, maybe they were watching and saw that he likes to go inside with the two-seam fastball, as we showed in one of the highlights from last July. He wants to go in. He's coming back, but Markakis did not let it. And Chris Young let it take the short hop on him, and not a bad idea, thinking that maybe if he doesn't catch it, a couple of runs are going to score, but does create a bases loaded predicament with nobody out.
Jones hit a fly ball to right field in his first at bat. And a first pitch strike. Jones with 4 home runs, 18 RBIs, and a .347 batting average. Another flare to right, and this one's going to drop. 1 run's going to score. They're going to wave home Machado now. He stops. He's got to hustle back. So Jones with a bloop single that brings home McLeod. Machado was being waved home, but right at the last minute they put the stop sign up.
One-handed swing inside out by Jones, and probably Machado saw that it was going to drop in front of Young because it was not hit that hard, and perfect throw by Chris Young to the plate.
So RBI number 19, and the Orioles have the lead. Quick meeting on the mound. 4 straight singles. This is the numbers this year, including this inning. So the second time has been the difficult part for Bartolo Colon. Here's Davis. And maybe Ray, you know, early in the game, hitters are like, well, I want to see what he's got. I'm going to take a pitch. Well, if you take a pitch against Colon, you're going to be more than likely behind in the count 0-1.
That's right.
Way inside, and now Davis is sitting in the driver's seat 2-0.
You know, Kurt Young went out to visit with Colon. Not much you can tell him because he's going to pitch his normal game, which is a lot of fastballs and the movement. It's just that the hitters in this inning, 2-strike hit by McClough, 2-strike hit by Markakis.
Machado, Markakis, Jones are the runners. There's a drive headed for the right field corner, fair. One hops the wall. Machado scores. Markakis scores. Jones to third. 5 straight hits for the Orioles, and they lead 3-0. So a 2-run double for Davis. RBIs 26 and 27.
He struck out on a fastball at first at bat, but Davis this time gets the 2-0 fastball with a little movement, belt high, and he did not miss that one. A perfect pitch to hit, and he hit it perfectly to right field.
Still nobody out in the inning. Infield about halfway for Wieters. Wieters drives one toward left. Cespedes, he's got it. Tagging is Jones. He will come in to score. So another sacrifice fly for the Orioles. Ray, that's 5 sacrifice flies in this series by the Orioles.
Matt Wieters swung at the first pitch fastball in his eyes because of one reason. He knew he was going to get a fastball.
Now batting.
And got the fastball. Look at the location. Up and away. Actually, a perfect pitch for him to go to the opposite field to bring in the run with the sac fly. But the fact they're so far out of the strike zone, it's a hitter looking for the heater. He gets it, and once again, a huge crooked number put up against the A's.
Seen a lot of that lately.
I was just looking back in this series alone. That's the 11th inning in which the Orioles have scored. 8 times they put up a crooked number.
Wow.
So yeah, the single numbers, single digits, are just not in their vocabulary at this point.
Colon has it. He'll go to first. And Davis stays at second base. Remember, we showed you what teams do against Cologne this year. First at bat, second at bat, third at bat. But what's happening, Ray, is he still continues to throw fastballs, which that's what he does. I mean, he doesn't really change much of anything.
And the unfortunate thing, he's facing a team today. It's hot. Orioles are swinging back extremely well. Swinging well, and as a result, they're making contact.
Flaherty, the hitter, he hit a fly ball to center field in the 3rd inning. 4 runs for the Orioles here in the top of the 4th. Cook goes back to his right. He's got it side retired. 4 runs on 5 hits. Bottom of the 4th coming up. It's the Orioles 4 and the A's nothing. with a win in the World Series in each of 3 different decades. A win in the World Series in each of 3 different decades. If you think you know the answer, tweet us at CSN Athletics.
Wow.
Doesn't mean your team necessarily won the World Series. It means you got a win in a game.
And that means you're pitching so well you could pitch a long time.
That's true.
Although it's not like it's the first year of each decade and it's 30 years. It could be the end of one decade and the beginning of the 3rd decade. But still, it's impressive.
Smith to lead it off. First pitch outside from Miguel Gonzalez, who now has a 4-0 lead.
That's a tough question.
Well, there's a couple different ways to narrow it down. I think team's got to go to the World Series in at least once in 3 different
That's a good point, yeah.
So it immediately you think of the Yankees, but I don't think of anybody who pitched a long time for the Yankees. Jim Cott always comes to mind. 2-2 now to Smith, who grounded out in the 1st inning.
Jim Palmer pitching 83 for the Orioles. I don't know. He started in the 60s, so I don't know that he pitched that long. He pitched a long time.
You got to think Palmer.
66 and in the 79 for Palmer. And the Orioles, of course, trying to think other years. Because the A's beat the Orioles back-to-back years, 72, 73, 74, to prevent them from going to the World Series. So we knocked them out then. Nice if they came into town for the weekend for Kenny Holtzman to rub it in to Jim Palmer, and he did.
Of course.
Reggie might have had a few things to say yesterday when he bogarted the booth of the Orioles while he was waiting to come on our air.
Former Oriole, Reggie Jackson. Now 3-2 to Smith. Cespedes will be next, and then Moss. Playable for Markakis. And that's out number 1. Log on to CSNCalifornia.com and click on A's In-Game Live. It's presented by Comcast Business Class to enhance the in-game experience on your computer, your smartphone, or tablet. Follow the action like never before with in-depth stats, up to the second box scores, and join the social buzz with other fans. A's In-Game Live is presented by Comcast Business Class, and it's only at CSNCalifornia.com. Cespedes steps in. He was called out on strikes in the 2nd inning. He only saw 3 pitches. Breaking ball. He rolls it foul.
And even though Cespedes had the time in the minor leagues on his rehab assignment, we just have to still realize he's only human, and coming back at this level where he's facing big league quality pitching. Not to say the AAA River Cats do not face good pitching, but this is much different here. Key is for him to be healthy and be able to stay in the lineup, and eventually he'll do exactly what we all expect him to do, and he expects himself to do, and that's come up with some big hits.
Well, he was on the disabled list last year from the 7th of May till the end of the month, so he missed about 3 weeks. Overall, played in 129 games last year. And a swinging strikeout for Cespedes. 3 strikeouts for Miguel Gonzalez, who has been sharp so far.
Well, you're staying away from the power hitter, and that's Matt Wieters, his catcher, the veteran. And if you're a pitcher, and I don't care how long you pitch, you have Matt Wieters, 2-time Gold Glover, behind the plate. You go with your catcher, takes all the pressure, all thinking out of a pitcher's mind just to go with the man who does the most homework and has been behind the plate the most and knows the hitter's the best, and you just stay with it. Regardless of the catcher behind there, you just go with it.
Moss swings over top.
There's one thing that helps both pitcher and catcher right now, and that's 4-0 lead.
Oh boy.
4 runs in an inning and changes everything.
I mean, you've said many times you still want your pitcher to pitch, use all your pitches. But just the fact that I guess maybe you don't worry so much about making a mistake and a guy hitting a home run.
Just like the 3-2 Smith. Here's a fastball, 92. All right, give it your best shot. Do what you can do. It has to be happen to be a pop up to right field.
High fastball, 1-2.
But the score of the game changes everything from the pitcher catcher standpoint. The 13 runs as Cologne got. I mean, he's going to pitch his normal game, but the 4-0 lead, it does give the pitcher the confidence to throw any of his pitches that his catcher might call.
Swing and a miss, a breaking ball, and a very impressive inning for Miguel Gonzalez. He strikes out Cespedes and Moss. So 4 innings in the books at the Coliseum. 4-0 Orioles. Top of the 5th, and it's Earth Week. Food in grocery stores has traveled 1,300 miles on average. If you'd like to eat closer to home, doesn't get more local than trying your hand at growing some veggies, maybe fruit in your own yard. Green is universal.
That's great, but the deer like all those things you plant if you don't have any way to keep the deer out of your yard.
Seen them roaming around.
And it doesn't matter whether there's food in the hills or not. They just say, hey, look at this house.
They do. They will find the goodies. Nolan Reimold leading it off. 5th inning already from the Coliseum, with the Orioles dropping a 4 spot in the 4th. Angels and the Mariners still scoreless. Top of the 4th inning.
The Twins over the Rangers.
Oh, that is a final now. Just went final.
And what is that? Another one in the month of April?
That would be a shutout. That's right. I got to get you updated on that. Maybe I'll do that for tomorrow. How about that?
Is it going to take you until tomorrow to get this update?
Got it. 5-0 Twins over the Rangers. It was Kevin Correa. Twins signed as a free agent. He went 8 innings of shutout baseball. Home run by Justin Morneau. So the Twins with the shutout, and the Rangers now 16-9 on the year.
Well, it's nice if you're looking at the divisional play early in the season. It's nice to see teams that you know are going to be teams that you have to be concerned about, and other teams beating those teams. But bottom line, the A's need to play better, score some runs, and do what they did a lot of last year. You can only look for so much help, and it is early. A lot of people do watch the scoreboard and the standings and know the Rangers are leading the Western Division.
Strike 3 called. Nolan Reimold strikes out for the second time.
Right there, slight movement, backdoor two-seam fastball coming back towards the middle of the plate, and Reimold, and simply say that Jim Presti probably, how could you take a fastball? I don't care what kind of movement, but hitters do, and Reimold just did.
First pitch to McLeod is a strike. The Texas Rangers will now head home. They'll have an off day tomorrow, and they will open up a series against the White Sox on Tuesday. Diving is Sogard, cannot quite get it, and McLeod has another hit. Nate McLeod with 2 hits today. He now has 7 hits in this series. He's certainly done his thing. And remember, he didn't start one game.
3 at bats, 9 pitches, all but 1 have been strikes. And I think he's, after his first at bat, saw 3 pitches that popped up. A nice play by Donaldson, but since then, been aggressive at the plate, and regardless of the count, looking fastball and is getting them.
7 hits now for Baltimore, and here's Machado. The Royals beat the Indians today, Ray. You want to know what the score was?
Shut up.
9-0. We are so on top of the shutout thing.
So are the hitters. So maybe it's just not the A's not able to score. They were shut out on Friday night to add to that list.
Over the mound, charging his Sogard. His throw is a little wide. Everybody's going to be safe. Well, Machado has a hit. So McLeod with 2 hits, Machado with 2 hits.
Well, if Bartolo comes up with it, it's an easy double play, but he deflected it just enough. And Sogard, nice play. Sogard, bare hand, even better play by Moss, trying to keep his foot on the bag to catch, but also not have the ball get past him to allow the runners to advance. Machado, number 13, just couldn't handle it.
So now it's the heart of the order. Markakis, Jones, and Davis. There is 1 out. Markakis slaps 1 foul. So the Royals shut out the Indians. Guthrie got the win, but that's game 1 of a doubleheader. They were postponed on Friday, so those 2 teams will play a doubleheader. Game 2 tonight.
Says a lot about they're both in the Central Division, that they want to make it up same weekend, which a lot of times you see that regardless of the scheduling, possible poor scheduling.
How about the Royals though? 13-8,
yeah. So
they're playing well in the very early going.
You sweep the Red Sox in a day-night doubleheader on an emotional weekend. That was quite impressive for the Royals to do that last Sunday.
Cespedes is right there in left field. So that's out number 2. And Ray, when we talk about team's record and hey, they're in first place, we fully understand it's only April, but still, if a team's playing well, well, you know, good for them.
You look at some teams that, in case of the Royals, they have been building towards this. They were actually talking maybe 14, but decided 13, getting James Shields and trading a high prospect to get Shields. And And Davis from the Tampa Bay Rays re-signed some players. They've got a good club, and for them to have a good spring, which they did down in Arizona, and then carry it into the regular season, they could build a lot of confidence for a team that hasn't been to postseason in a long time.
First pitch to Jones. Popped up. Here comes Jaso, but it's going to reach the seats.
And remember, there are some teams, I think of the Reds in 1990, they started in first place. They won the World Series, so wire to wire. Tigers in '84. More teams than that, but teams that stand out. And I think there's a tremendous amount of confidence that's built in a club that starts to play well. You start believing. The A's, perfect example in the second half last year. To do what they did, being so far behind, you just start winning. It becomes contagious. You expect to win, and you play like you are going to win every game.
Jones had an RBI single in the fourth inning. He had a little flare to right field. Now got 19 RBIs on the year. Second most behind Davis for the Orioles. Pitch count 64 for Cologne. Sometimes you see a hitter maybe try to slow down the at bat a little bit, facing a pitcher who likes to work quickly. That certainly is Cologne. Tough play for Donaldson, gets by him, rolls down the left field line. McLeod scores, and they're going to wave home Machado. The throw goes to second base. Now the throw comes home, and they got him.
Wow. What a play by Eric Sogard.
Whew. So one run does score, but the A's cut down Machado at the plate. So it's 5-0. But the A's cut down Machado at the plate. Here's that play in its entirety.
Donaldson couldn't handle the bad hop, and it went out of the corner. For some reason, Cespedes must not have thought Machado was going to be sent, because he comes up throwing to second base. Machado being waved all the way from first base. And with a couple of outs, not surprising, but Cespedes to throw to second. And Sogard, what a play he makes, picks it up, quickly throws it to Jaso on a quick tag. And did Jaso get him? According to John Hirschbeck, he's standing there watching. He said yes. Buck Showalter objected, but Machado going around, and there he got him right there. Great call by John Hirschbeck, something that Buck Showalter could not see, but the home plate umpire positioned himself perfectly, as good umpires do.
So it ends up being 7-4-2 on the putout, but Jones was credited with a double and an RBI. So Donaldson, Young, and Sogard. A's trying to get something going against Miguel Gonzalez. He's retired 8 of the last 9, including a 3-up, 3-down inning in the 4th. That would be the fan club of Eric Sogard. He's not a nerd.
Far from.
But just if you wear glasses.
Did we figure that as far as he is the only player that actually wears glasses to they needs them instead of contacts? Yeah, I think that's why that sign has come up.
Big chopper right at Hardy. And that's out number 1. So the A's need to shake the bat rack a little bit, right?
Yep. And maybe 13,000 Little League kids and parents who parade around. Maybe they should have been shaking the bat rack when they walked by the A's dugout.
Overall, a terrific crowd again today. 27,475. So it's been nice weather this weekend for the most part. But unfortunately, it's been kind of an Orioles weekend. They've played pretty good, solid baseball, which is what we saw last year, and it looks like we're seeing it again this year with this team.
And there are times that teams on the East Coast or Midwest come to the West Coast and have a tough time winning. But so the Tigers beat the A's 2-3. And unless the A's have a huge comeback today, they're going to be swept by the Orioles from Baltimore.
And it is an 11-game, 11-day road trip for Baltimore, all on the West Coast. An old-fashioned one, as we like to call it. They will head to Seattle after the game for a 3-game series Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then fly down to Anaheim. 4-game series Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the Angels. Gonzalez scoops it up, and that's out number 2. Well, tonight the Warriors playoffs are on Comcast Sportsnet after a comeback win in Oakland in Game 3. The Warriors lead that series 2-1. Then we're going to look to take advantage of their home court at Oracle Arena. Fitz, Barnett, Papa, St. Jean, Bucher bring you all the action. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. with Warriors pregame live, and it's on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Follow the team that covered your team all season long on the home of Warriors basketball, Comcast Sportsnet. So, place will be jumping tonight. Oracle Arena, as it always is, but playoff time, it's quite a scene. The Warriors will try to go up 3-1 in that series. Sogard hits one very high down the right field line. It's going to be foul and into the seats. Sogard hit fly ball to right field in the 3rd inning.
Ryan Cook heating up quickly in the A's bullpen. This is strike him out, throw him out. Jaso with a high throw, but Sogard reaching back to his left, brought the ball down and able to make the tag. A very quick tag and a great play by Sogard at second base, losing his feet.
Flaherty has it, and that is another 3-up, 3-down inning. 7 in a row retired by Miguel Gonzalez, and we're on to the 6th. It's now 5-0 Baltimore. Top of the 6th inning. Davis, Wieters, and Hardy against Bartolo Colon. Orioles scored 4 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th. And that one is lined down the right field line, but it's foul. Now in those 2 innings, the 4th and the 5th, a total of 8 hits by the Orioles. 5 hits in the 4th, 3 more in the 5th. There's the youngster.
Give that fan a contract. Well, and the thing about Colon, he does it with so few pitches. Gave up a lot of hits in those 2 innings, and the Orioles swinging early and often, and not surprised. I mean, they happen to be making contact and finding holes with the hits.
Missed outside. Now 3-1 to Davis, who has struck out and then had a bases loaded double in the 4th inning that knocked home a pair. So he now has 27 RBIs on the year. Into the shift, Sogard out of the grass. And that's out number 1. All right, we got our trivia answer, the AT&T trivia answer. Who is the only pitcher with a win in the World Series in each of 3 different decades? And it indeed was Jim Palmer. Got a win in '69, got a couple of wins in both '70 and '71, and he got a win in 1983.
Well, if he's seeing that, then he's going to be screaming, saying he can't remember those things. But I'm just concerned about the '83 season. Teammates with the Hall of Famer Cal Ripken Jr. in his only World Series. There is Jim Palmer, the Hall of Famer.
Can't remember all those things.
Well, Reggie,
enough history to remember right here in Oakland, right? I can't.
Exactly. Well, Reggie said it. You know, yesterday we were showing the graphic. You know, guys did a great job putting all the stats. He said, "You need a couple, 2 or 3 more pages, don't you?"
Reggie was probably right.
And so was Palmer. Palmer would say the same thing, probably.
Right at Young, so that's out number 2. All right, we're doing this for the big right-hander. 19 seasons. 268 total wins.
He's proud of that. No grand slams.
And he should be.
And every time I see him, he's talking to somebody. He said, "Well, Ray hit a home run off me, but Don Buford had it in his glove and dropped it over the outfield fence in Cleveland." I know, Jim.
I don't believe that matters.
Still counts as a home run.
I don't believe there's an asterisk next to that home run.
No,
Is there?
there's not. But he remembered.
Tough hop for Rosales. He stays with it. Throws out Hardy, and a 3-up, 3-down inning for Colon. Bottom of the 6th coming up. It'll be Rosales, Crisp, and Jaso. Work to do for the A's. They trail 5-0. September 14th of last year. Derek Norris throws out Xavier Avery from the Orioles to end the game. Baltimore was threatening in the 9th inning. It was a one-run game. Pennant race was on, and it was a huge play. Stephen Drew applied the tag, and it was the great shot of Derek Norris. Doing the lumberjack scream. He's won that game 3-2.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
That was a very, very big play. And also threw out Speedy base runner for the Dodgers when he first joined the club.
D. Gordon?
D. Gordon,
yeah.
exactly. Good rememberer there, Kite.
That's all I got. It's my Dodger history goes back 1 year.
Well, as expected, got a note from a good friend, Steve Lucinich, about the helmet that Adam Rosales was wearing yesterday that helped him protect him. It's called the S100. S as in Sam, 100, worn by all the players. And while it's perfect.
Rosales will be at second with a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Hanging breaking ball, no chance of that ball running up and in on him, but the S100 helped him yesterday, and the bat helps him hit this hanging, looked like an off-speed pitch, some sort of a change-up, something that stayed up. Thought it was maybe a hanging curve, but it was soft, it was hit hard down the corner, and the A's can start at the bottom of the order with this leadoff double and do something with it.
So Coco Chris steps in. He doubled in the 3rd inning. 3 hits now for the A's. It was Coco's 9th double of the year. He's got a triple and, of course, the 5 home runs. So a lot of extra base hits for Coco Crisp in the early going. Two 2-0. J-So in the on-deck circle. And that one in for a strike. Coco is taking all the way, looking for base runners. .70 pitches for Gonzalez, so it's not a bad pitch count. He's in decent shape. Nobody out yet here in the 6th inning.
And I think just any kind of scoring for the Athletics might help boost their confidence offensively and try to put together some hits and try to put up a crooked number after the Orioles did it a couple of innings ago.
Swing and a miss. Coco had a big swing.
And that's first and second, nobody out, but Coco is now going to have to change as it went after a pitch out of the strike zone. So big of a swing that almost spun himself on the ground, off the ground. He knew he swung at ball 4, and he knows he needs base runners, so makes it a little bit tougher at bat, but more concentration at this point for Coco.
And he lines one, base hit left center field. It's going to roll deep into left center field, plenty deep for Rosales to score. So the A's are on the board, RBI double for Coco Crisp.
Great hitting, great base running by Rosales to make sure the ball went through, and actually Coco swung at ball 4 but got a better pitch 3 and 2 to hit it right over the head of Hardy, and his speed again turning the base at first, bag at first perfectly, and coached it into second base. But Rosales stopped, going back in left center. You're down by 5, you don't want to be doubled off. And Rosie's able to score easily, and Coco replacing him at second. Another runner in scoring position.
So Jaso steps in 0 for 2. Pitch is high.
You know, you might see Coco try to steal third. Textbook base running. And these young kids watching this, and that's the left foot hitting the bag, pushed off, and to be able to glide into second base, that is textbook. All those kids watching that, it's how I run the bases.
That would be the best way to run the bases. Helps to be fast too.
Wow, that's and hit a ball.
Helps to be really fast. So that note on the doubles for Coco Crisp. The A's as a team, 3 doubles today. They have 60 doubles on the season, and that's the most in the American League. He's still leading the major leagues in runs scored.
Chili Davis, I think, an excellent hitter, as we talked about, but his approach for his hitters as a hitting coach, I think, is brilliant, and just a matter of the hitters applying a lot of information he gives.
Little fister into center field, and that's a hit. Coco will stop at third.
Chevrolet is driving more value this season with Chevy Free Parking Tuesdays. Park for free at select Tuesday home games and get a ticket to the game for only $4 while supplies last. To act on this special discount, purchase online only at oaklandathletics.com/Tuesday and use promo code Chevy. Free Parking Tuesdays driven by Chevrolet. One of the things that Chili Davis said, and again, I think from a hitting coach's perspective, they get all the information, and this is a third at bat for John Jaso. Pulls the hands in, gets a base hit up the middle on a 2-1 fastball. And Chili said you go into a game with a game plan. The game plan lasts 1 at bat. You think about it, that first at bat, you have a game plan, but as the pitcher changes his approach, you change your game plan. And the third time through the batting order for the Athletics, it's possible with the conversations that maybe Chili has noticed something, the hitters will notice something. And it didn't work the first time, but maybe the second or third time through. And in this particular inning, 3 consecutive hits for the A's. And I think, as Reggie said yesterday, it's always the pitcher who has the pressure. The hitter should never think he has the pressure on himself. It's on the pitcher to get you out.
Swing and a miss by Seth Smith. Smith is grounded out and flied out. So 0 for 3, or make that 0 for 2, excuse me.
But I think what the A's were looking for yesterday in the 9th inning to see where the A's rank offensively. Thanks in large part to that man there, Chili Davis. Works hard with them, but the A's yesterday in the 9th inning loaded the bases.
Down the left field line, McLeod is going to get a glove on it, and it pops out of his glove right in front of the bullpen. Coco was set to tag up and score.
Jaso was also tagging from first to go to second base, but McLeod, a very, very long run, especially with a left-handed hitter playing over in left center. But, you know, yesterday the A's bases loaded. And again, I think Chili said it best. Whereas the club had been getting singles and doubles and walks, it seemed like some of the guys were just trying to hit home runs instead of just keeping the inning going. That's what the A's need to do in this particular inning.
Oh, 2 pitch to Smith is high.
You have to have a Hyundai Sunday big hit by Seth Smith.
Well, this is a pretty good opportunity to get just that.
Nobody better than Smitty last year on Hyundai Sundays.
Bounce towards second, and the Orioles will get the out at second. A run comes in to score, so it'll be an RBI fielder's choice for Seth Smith. His 11th run batted in, and it's 5-2.
Like he's trying to hit the gap between first and second with a ground ball to keep the inning going. Nice play by Flaherty and a nice stretch at second by the shortstop Hardy.
So a couple runs in for the A's here in the bottom of the 6th.
Want to light up a stadium? How about a 2-run home run?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Light up a lot of people if he did that.
Cespedes has struck out looking and swinging so far in the game. A little bit outside. So this is the first real problem inning that Gonzalez has faced today. Missed again, 2-0.
Looks like Wieters is setting up, thinking, as we were talking about, the possibility of a 2-run home run, and so as a result, the first 2 fastball locations called outside. Cespedes has the power to use the whole field, but if he opens up, and maybe Wieters is seeing him do that maybe thinks he can get him to roll over and pitch outside.
Not close, 3-0. Moss will be next. Strike. Didn't have to be.
No.
John Hirschbeck calls it a strike.
Again, a 3-0 fastball outside corner. According to John Hirschbeck, it caught the corner, and Wieters had to move, and that's questionable. Wieters set up in the middle and had to reach to his right, but looked like it might have been off the plate, but maybe that ball extension that umpires seem to be able to give certain pitchers.
Cespedes had a good swing there. That's probably his best swing of the day, and he fouled it back.
Well, he takes that vicious of a swing and everything's okay, then it's okay.
So full count. Smith the runner at first. He's not moving, and there's a shot center field. Jones coming in, and he'll short hop it. So Cespedes has a hit. That's 4 hits in the inning for the A's.
A little bit towards the end of the bat, and maybe just enough for it to drop in front of Jones, who had to respect the power of Cespedes, playing deep. The foot down, solid swing, and enough top spin to drop in front of Jones.
So that'll bring up Moss. Action for the Orioles. It's Troy Patton, the left-hander. Moss a single and a strikeout. 2 on, 1 out. Just inside. Who knows, Ray? Maybe getting Gonzalez in the stretch to start the inning. Maybe that has something to do with his struggles, because completely different pitcher here in the 6th inning.
Since the second pitch of this inning, he has been pitching out of the stretch. He's given up 3 hits. The next 4 batters after Rosales doubled.
Missed again, 2-0.
I'm glad that pitch wasn't called. It was down close to the knees, but down out of the strike zone. And Brandon Moss good at taking it, just did not want to get the help from the umpire.
And a 2-0, maybe a changeup. Moss swung over top.
Well, he's staying inside with the off-speed pitch. Wieters calling those. was off speed, not much movement, so it would have been more of a straight change, which would throw it in the vicinity of the plate. It's going to be a pretty good pitch.
Not close. 3-1. Couple of right-handed hitters to follow, Donaldson and Young. And the pitch is high, and he walked it. Now the bases are loaded.
Kind of in this inning alone, just watching Coco swinging a pitch out of the strike zone, 3-1. Cespedes going after 3-1, but Brandon Moss just keying down and making sure the pitch is down or was down. It was high, and they took it easily to load the bases. And so the A's have the base runners they've been looking for.
Donaldson, a pop out and a ground out. Seven pitches this inning for Miguel Gonzalez. Rolled foul up over the head of Mike Gallego.
Josh Donaldson's not going to get cheated, is he?
I don't think so.
And he's knowledgeable of the strike zone, and so he gets the leg kick, he gets the foot down, and he's aggressive, but he could be that aggressive and still know the strike zone and swing and strikes. Get a mistake, he's capable of doing some serious damages.
High fastball. So 1-1 to Donaldson. The A's have scored twice here in the sixth.
That's aggressive, but that's also a good take on the check swing. He was ready to hit, a little bit too high.
Low, 2-1. The gentleman in the bullpen, Troy Patton, looks like he's ready. Inside, 3-1.
I think he can set fastball. He's gotten fastballs the last three pitches, and they've been off the plate. One high, a couple of inside. So Josh Donaldson just needs to be disciplined enough and aggressive enough to get a pitch that he's looking for.
And he pops it into the radio booth off the sign just above the radio booth right next door.
That was a gutsy call by Matt Waiters. Throw him a slider after missing with three fastballs, and even better for Josh Donaldson to get the slider and foul it back out of play. Gives him another swing.
Smith is at third, Cespedes at second, Moss at first. 3-2 pitch. Fouled straight back. Fastball out over the plate. Foul back. High fastball. Too close to take, probably. It looks like it may have been a little up.
Donaldson can get some plate coverage.
Yeah.
And, just going back to yesterday in his 4 at-bats, and the aggressive approach was very, very good for him. For any hitter, he's showing it.
So another payoff delivery. And another fastball and another foul ball by Donaldson. Angels have taken a 1-0 lead over the Mariners in the top of the 6th inning.
Ninth pitch coming up to Josh Donaldson.
And there's a shot, base hit. It's going to go to the wall. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. They're going to hold Moss up. Donaldson comes through again, and we got a 5-4 game.
Well, I'll say one thing, Kay. If there is a situation where you want to drive in some runs, this is the guy you want to play. A tremendous at-bat, gets a fastball 3-2, his 9th pitch at-bat, in the at-bat, and drilled it. And the one thing the Orioles have to be happy is that this ball didn't leave the yard, because it was a line drive, got on top of it, drove it down the left field corner, and Josh Donaldson, as he did yesterday, he's doing it again today, and Bartolo likes it. And the A's have a chance with runners at second and third, only 1 out, to do something even more in this inning.
So that'll bring up Chris Young. Donaldson knocks in his 17th and 18th runs of the year. Now they're going to walk Chris Young.
And the left-handed in the bullpen, this might be an intentional walk to bring him in, because what Bob Melvin had done with especially Josh Reddick on the bench, if there was a thought about pitch hitting him, then Patton would have come in to face him, the lefty on lefty. But Josh Donaldson,
12 hits in his last 22 at-bats. Well, Gonzalez kept throwing him fastballs, so I can't imagine he was looking at anything else when the count was 3-2.
The impressive thing, he threw him 1 slider in the 3-2, and he fouled back and then went to 3 fastballs. That's what's the impressive part, that he's got to be removed from the game after the intentional walk. Chili Davis is going to talk to Eric Sogard about the relief pitcher coming in.
So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
So Star Trek Into Darkness themed show presented by Xfinity begins after the A's play the Royals at O.Co Coliseum. Bring the family in your picnic blankets and enjoy the show from the outfield grass. On-field capacity is limited. Tickets and information go to oaklandathletics.com/fireworks.
So to be lefty on lefty, Sogard facing Troy Patton.
Patton pitched the first game of the series. Sogard was removed for a pinch hitter. Gonzalez pinched hit for him, but did pitch a couple of innings, gave up a couple of hits. Sidewinder. There it is, and that's what Chili Davis probably was telling him. Just dropped down.
Well, Gonzalez could win it, he could lose it, he could get a no decision. And he completely fell apart here in the 6th inning. And a quick 0-2 to Sogard, that one on the outside corner.
It's almost just trying to figure out the delivery by this lefty, and by not facing him Thursday in the first game of the series, he's seen it for the first time.
0-2 pitch is hit the shallow left. McLouth coming in. He's got it, and everybody will stay put. So Sogard not deep enough. So Patton gets a big out there, and now he's got to face the right-handed hitting Rosales.
Now batting, shortstop, number 17,
So Rosales a chance to give the A's the lead. Moss is at third, Donaldson at second, Young at first. 4 runs are in here in the 6th. First pitch to Rosales is bounced right back to Pat. He'll underhand, side retired. So the A's are back in it. They score 4 times. So we're headed to the 7th inning. It's the Orioles 5 and the A's 4. Brought to you by Hyundai. Hyundai Sunday is brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. Well, the A's are back in it with a 4 spot in the bottom of the 6th inning. So 5-4. Bartolo Colon is done for the afternoon. I think Bartolo really loved to have gone back out there.
Well, at least a different look after the Jones double, and he did retire the side in order last inning, but Ryan Cook, kind of a demon for him. He comes back after giving up a couple of runs in game on Friday, the 9th inning, whenever the Orioles scored the 2 insurance runs. So Ryan Cook and the rest of the bullpen trying to get the 9 outs. Meanwhile, for the A's to come back and add a couple more to take the lead.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So Cook to face Flaherty, Reimold, McLouth. 7th inning. First pitch swinging, Flaherty on the infield where Sogard has it. So Flaherty is 0 for 3. 1 pitch, 1 out for Cook. So Bartolo Colon. Oh, interesting, right? He only threw 75 pitches.
Yeah, but you know what I think that was? Even though it retired the side in order, it was the number of fastballs he threw, and they're going to be going back through the order the 3rd time. And Look at what the Orioles did top of the order. McLaughlin on deck circle, and that's kind of where it started in the 4th and the 5th. He also got a hit, so a lot of hits in the top part of the batting order, and of course coming on the fastball.
Good pitch there, and it's 0-2. So 75 pitches for Cologne, gives up the 5 runs in 6 innings. Cologne did not walk anybody. No surprise there. He's only walked 1 this year. He had 3 strikeouts. That one just foul.
This guy's got to be happy to see Cologne gone. Reimold, who K'd a couple of times.
Reimold is 2 for 9 in the series. Lays off that pitch 2-2, although it was close. Cook in that outing on Friday where he struggled, he walked a couple guys and he just did not look sharp.
Yeah.
That's a good fastball, and it's a swinging strikeout. So Reimold has struck out 3 times.
Stayed down in the zone again, and the same pitch that Reimold took for ball. Give it the count 2-2, but went after the next one, which good that Cook kept the ball down in the lower part of the strike zone.
So here's the top of the order, Nate McLeod, who has been very good in this series. He's 2 for 3 today with a couple singles, a couple of runs scored. 7 for 14 in the series, and he has scored 5 runs. Can't really ask for much more from your leadoff man. And again, as we said it before, he did not start one of the games in this 4-game series. And there's another hit right up the middle. So a 2-out single by McLeod. He's 3 for 4.
Well, we saw Josh Donaldson's aggressiveness, and we've seen it from McLeod in the games that he has played. And again, pitch was left up, away from him, able to extend the arms, and took it right back up the middle.
So Machado will hit. McLeod runs. The throw to second base is not in time, so McLeod has a steal.
Excellent throw by John Jaso, just no chance. Well, 2 outs, and Machado has power, but thinking about a base hit, you see how far the kind of jump that McLeod got. Of course, we've seen the Orioles run in this series, get runners in scoring position, especially with 2 outs.
Ray, the Orioles have 5 stolen bases in this series. The A's have 0. And the A's are one of the better stolen base teams in the league. 8th on the year for McLeod. Strike call to Machado. Markakis will be next. What you absolutely can't do is give a run back here after you've dropped the 4 spot to get yourself right back in the game.
I was just thinking the same thing, that the bullpen for the A's coming in the 7th inning. 0s in the run column and get 9 outs. Give the club a chance to come back. Golden opportunity, bases loaded, 1 out, could not capitalize on it.
Two and 2 to Machado. He is 2 for 3 today. And that one right up the middle, and that's a base hit, and McLeod will score easily. And the Orioles now lead 6-4. So McLeod and Machado have really hurt the A's today. They have 6 hits combined. And the stolen base, a big play.
Well, and the biggest thing, just not get the shutdown inning. Fastball ran in a little bit, but belt high, allowing Machado to pull the hands in and go right back up the middle. But you're right, the stolen base. And I'd say there's not much that has not gone right for the Orioles this 4-game series. And credit to them, the way they're playing.
It's a series where it's one team playing well against another team that's not playing well.
And for the A's to have the bases loaded last inning, just one out,
and
and one run away from at least tying the game, could not do it. In a matter of about 4 pitches, the Orioles were out of it. And then a shutdown inning. That's been the culprit for the A's in the series too. But all that will change. All those things will become positives. Start getting the shutdown inning. Start taking advantage of opportunities to score runs.
Well, Ryan Cook in that game Friday threw 29 pitches. And that one straight to the backstop. Comes back to Jaso, hits the umpire, and Jaso finally picks it up, and Machado's at second.
Probably shook up some people back in diamond level.
I don't think there's any question that it did that.
Kurt Young going out to visit. That ball straight back, and pay attention, people. There's netting and there's a padded area back there, but it's your wake-up call.
And Ryan Cook may be a little bit frustrated right now. So the count is 2-0 to Markakis. Adam Jones in the on-deck circle. Markakis today is 1 for 3. He had a base hit in that 4th inning. Scored a run. He shoots one down the left field line, but it's going to drift into the seats. Hit pretty well. Cook is ready, checks on Machado at second. Nobody really holding him on. And a fastball is outside, 92 miles an hour.
I think Bob Melvin thought after the first 2 outs very quickly in this inning that he'd have to get Jerry Blevins up, possibly for Chris Davis, who will be hitting behind Jones if it goes that deep. But Ryan Cook has to make a quality pitch to a very good hitter.
And it's hit toward left field. Machado's running, and side retired. So that was indeed the 3rd out. So Cook gives up a run, and we're going to the 7th inning stretch. 6-4 Baltimore. inning. Bob Melvin trying to get a win in this series. Hard to come by.
You don't like to see his good friend bench coach Chip Hill shaking his head either.
No, that's not a good sign.
And Chip was doing exactly that.
Hayes will have the top of the order. Crisp, Jaso, and Smith. Troy Patton, who got a couple of huge outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. So he stays in there with Jaso and Smith, a couple of lefties to follow Coco Crisp. I'm sure that is the reason why Patton is in there.
Derek Norris came running down from the A's bullpen, possibly to pinch hit for Jaso, maybe in the last inning if it gone to that spot in the lineup. But you'd see him stay on the bench since Jaso was the second hitter.
Coco's had a good day. He's 2 for 3 with 2 doubles, an RBI, and a run score. Pop foul back. The Red Sox won again today. They beat the Houston Astros 6-1, and that finished off a 4-game sweep for the Red Sox at home over the Astros.
So their last loss was last Tuesday.
Yep.
Red Sox, and they did what you're supposed to do.
Outside, so the Red Sox are now 18-7. That's the best record in all of baseball. How about that? Darren O'Day starts to throw. The Red Sox off to a very fine start. Maybe the best news in that game for the Red Sox is John Lackey started, pitched well, and got the win. He went 6 innings and gave up just the 1 run. Well, that is big news for the Red Sox.
Good game to start. Yeah.
So the Astros are now 7-18 after being swept. Coco's worked it full. And Coco's aboard. We got in-depth sports news for the Bay Area fan. Go deep with Sportsnet Central. It's brought to you by AT&T Uverse. It's today at 4:30. Again, 4:30. And it's on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Highlights from this game. A live preview of the Warriors-Nuggets game. And the latest on the Sharks playoffs. Looks like the Sharks are going to be the 6th seed in the Western Conference. Vinny Bach, John Henry Smith will host.
Buck Showalter, his typical trot to the mound. Is that Rick Adair?
That's Rick Adair.
Sorry, because they both run out of the dugout the same way. But whenever Rick Adair, who would be not making the pitching changes, but he's following Buck because there's no walking by the veteran pitching coach of the Orioles. So he went out just to talk to his left-hander as Buck and Rick Adair decide to leave the lefty in to face Derek Norris, who is pinching.
So Norris to hit for Jaso. Seth Smith in the on-deck circle. So here's Norris. And Norris takes the first pitch strike. So Jaso, while he was in there, was 1 for 3. drive to center, but right at Adam Jones, who's got it for out number 1. So Norris pinch hits. He'll stay in the game and do the catching. And a couple of lefties warming up. Doolittle and Blevins. So you may be wondering, well, why would you have 2 lefties? Well, I think if the A's were to take the lead, then you'd bring Doolittle in. If the A's remain behind at the end of this inning, it'll be Blevins. Outside corner from Patton, a strike to Smith. Smith, a ground out, a fly out, and an RBI fielder's choice in the 6th inning. Outfield straightaway, and Jones, as we've seen now, plays pretty shallow for center fielder. The Mariners have tied up that game. Safeco, Angels won, Mariners won in the 8th inning.
Mariners still looking for the consistent offense. Just have not been getting a lot of it.
No, they have struggled again, even with the new players. That one's hit well, center field. Jones going back. He's at the wall, and that baby is gone, and we're tied.
Buck Showalter comes out, but Cespedes did not disappoint us on Hyundai Sunday as he takes the lefty deep, high above the wall in center field, and what a great shot by Cespedes to tie the game. Wow.
All right, when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
He gets the lefty 1-1 fastball, belt high. He made the mistake, did the left-hander. Patton, he elevated it, and Cespedes, this ball is high up on the wall. Jones runs back, but look where it hits, way up high. And that is clearly a home run, but a great swing by our Hyundai Sunday specialist, Cespedes. He knew it was gone. He took the little trot around the bases. The Caldecott tunnel. Home run tunnel. That's great. I like that. Caldecott tunnel. Is pretty sharp, isn't it?
So here's O'Day to face Cespedes. Still only 1 out. Started with a walk to Crisp. And then 2 batters later, Smith the home run to tie it. Saw O'Day pitch last night. Or yesterday, I should say. Moss to follow. So that's Troy Patton. He got those 2 big outs in the bottom of the 6th, but could not hold the lead here in the 7th. Foul back. Slider that has stayed up.
He has a tendency, or can, leave sliders up in the zone, and when he does, they become very hittable. And Cespedes, strong arms, great extension, almost got one, but hit straight back.
This one's popped up, but it's going to be playable foul territory. Machado has it, and that's out number 2. So the home run by Smith, his 3rd of the year. That's the first home run the A's have hit in this series. So they waited for the perfect time. So here's Moss to hit with 2 outs. Shift is on for Moss. Hardy, the shortstop, playing behind second base. Machado playing a shallow shortstop position. Swing and a miss. There's that slider that you see these kind of pitchers throw them a lot to right-handed hitters.
Kind of a frisbee, and it kind of floats up, but sometimes the deception and the off speedness of the pitch. It's Brandon Moss swinging and opening, but swinging on top and missing.
And there it is again. Looked like he threw that one actually a little harder. Missed inside.
It's enough. He's underneath. It's tough. Trying to throw the ball hard, and all it takes is a little bit more upward in the angle and get the sharp dive going down and into the left hand.
So 2-1 the count to Moss. Fastball is high.
John Hirschbeck, although Seth Smith fastball up in his own, but John Hirschbeck likes the low strike. He likes the width and the low strike, but he will not give too much, if anything, above the belt. At least he is not today.
And that one low. And Moss has walked for the 2nd time. It was close.
That was a slider, too. Went back over the slider, and it stayed down and too low for even John Hirschbeck to go.
So here's Donaldson. He had the big hit in the 6th inning. Donaldson, a bases loaded double that scored 2, and it got the score to 5-4. May have won around that time. It's called a strike. So the A's with 4 in the 6th, 2 here in the 7th to tie the game. One and one.
This is a big one. 3-2. Fastball, bases loaded. Drilled it down the left field corner. And Chip Palmer, as he always, as in the pitcher, he said, Surprised he didn't hit a grand slam. I said, you never gave in the up. No, it didn't. But that's how strong and how hard that Donaldson swung and just had the top spin.
So 1-2 the count. It's TJ McFarland. Another lefty. Orioles have 4 lefties in their bullpen. So 2-2 the count with Moss at first after the 2-out walk. Way inside, 3-2. So Moss will take off.
Buck Showalter doing again what he did with Patton and Chris Young in the on-deck circle. Josh Reddick on the bench. Jed Lowry, and Lowry must not be available. He might have pinched it for Sogard if he were. But there's Josh Reddick, and one of the things they left in the bullpen might keep him there.
Runner goes, little pop-up. Davis coming over, and he goes into a slide as the ball bounces up into the seats. See, that's what you're supposed to do if you're Chris Davis. Go into the slide before you run into the wall.
Well, if the ball is 20 rows deep, you shouldn't even be running over there. But that's hustle. He knows
I didn't think that was that far in.
No. But if it's foul territory, it's hard for first baseman, third baseman not to run over because a lot of balls will stay in play.
Another 3-2 pitch, and again a foul ball. This one on the ground right side. So good battle here between O'Day and Donaldson. So another 3-2. Missed outside, and back-to-back walks by O'Day.
Look, can the A's do something with 2 outs like the Orioles did at the top of the inning? Young's got to get the chance.
So Chris Young, a chance to give the A's the lead. He's 2 on, 2 out, and the first pitch is popped up into the high sunshine, and Hardy, the shortstop, has it. Side retired. A's tie it thanks to Seth Smith, a 2-run homer. So we head to the 8th. It's a 6-6 game.
This year will be a special pregame festival in BAL AT OAK featuring games and activities for all scouts. The popular pregame parade and commemorative scout day patch will be back again. Also, 5,000 kids will receive an A's meeting courtesy of Ross Dress for Less. For more information and tickets, go to oaklandathletics.com/scout. You must purchase a special ticket to participate in the festivities.
So we got a new ball game at 6-6, top of the 8th. And the A's go to the bullpen again. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. It's Sean Doolittle who takes over. So Doolittle will face Jones, Davis, and Wieters here in the top of the 8th inning.
You know, Cap, the biggest out of this game might be the Marquez fly ball out to center field with Machado second and the Orioles up 2 runs.
On the infield, jam shot. Rosales has it. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Because that was another 2-out hit waiting to happen, and it did not. Cook got out of that inning, just allowing the 1 run, giving Cespedes a chance to tie with a 2-run home run.
Chris Davis.
Here's Davis. New catcher is Derek Norris, who pinch hit for J-Cell.
John Hirschbeck finding some splinters around the home plate area, so
takes care of that.
Let's make a pitcher feel great when he can saw off the bat of a power hitter like that. And
first pitch,
leave debris all over the place. The umpire has to clean it up.
Oh, 0-1 to Davis, who's 1 for 3 with a 2-run double. Has a big swing, hits it high, deep, and foul down the left field line. That game up in Seattle, the Angels had a 1-0 lead. Jason Bay hit a solo home run in the bottom of the 7th to tie it. In the bottom of the 8th, Michael Morris hit a solo home run, and now the Mariners have a 2-1 lead, and they're 3 outs away from a win. That drive to right center, that's hit well, and that one is gone.
Unbelievable.
An 0-2 pitch. Chris Davis homers, and the Orioles have the lead 7-6.
And the one thing Sean Doolittle was concerned about just happened. Not so much the home run, but the pitch selection on the 0-2 slider. That's a one-handed swing. One-handed. Look at this. He releases the hand, and that's a slider, belt high. And there was no doubt the ball was crushed to right center. Gave up a home run to Carlos Pena to left field on a fastball. But that was a slider, and he started throwing a little bit more, and he was concerned that if he gave up a home run, he didn't want it to happen on that pitch, and it just happened.
So that's a big home run, folks. Chris Davis having a sensational year. Wieters hits one off the end of the bat, but it's got enough to get through into center field for a hit, so a 1-out single. Well, really, Ray, it's 2 teams that both have very good bullpens, but in this game the bullpens have not been sharp. So here's Hardy. Fastball there right on the outside corner.
Two opportunities for shutdowns today, and the A's have not been able to accomplish it.
Doolittle pitched on Friday. And he used that slider to strike out a left-handed hitter, if I remember correctly.
But the real reason, and he knows, that if it's going to be a successful pitch, he has to throw it hard. It's almost a chase waste.
Especially 0-2, right?
Yeah, and you don't want to get, especially a left-handed hitter, a chance to have any possible contact with the ball.
Rosales has it. Out at second, safe at first. Hardy beat the throw. So the inning stays alive.
Rosales at least getting the lead runner is going to be tough to double up Hardy, who does run well. The high chopper anyway made it difficult.
Number 3, Ryan Flaherty.
So here's Flaherty, lefty on lefty. Brian Mattis, speaking of left-handers, is warming up in the bullpen. Their closer, Jim Johnson, has pitched in the last 2 games. We'll see if he's available today. Flaherty this afternoon has hit a pair of fly balls to center field and he's popped out. Mariners are trying to wrap up that game up in Seattle, leading 2-1 in the top of the 9th over the Angels. That one's hit high center field. Coco shading his eyes, fighting that sun. He's got it. Side retired. Big home run by Chris Davis, his 9th of the year. So bottom of the 8th coming up. A's trailing again. It's now 7-6.
Deck? No way!
Here's our game summary. It's brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. A's were trailing 5-0, and then they started their comeback in the 6th inning. Coco with an RBI double. One of the big hits, Donaldson, a 2-run double, so they got to 5-4. It was 6-4 when Cespedes tied the game with 1 swing in the bat. His 3rd home run of the year. That was in the bottom of the 7th. But unfortunately, top of the 8th, Chris Davis having a huge season. A solo home run off Sean Doolittle, and that gave the Orioles the lead back. So it's a 7-6 Orioles lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 7-13-0 for the Orioles, 6-8-0 for the Athletics. Both pitchers were rolling along, and they both got pounded in 1 inning. And the throw to first, Sogard is retired. So the bunt attempt. So Sogard is 0 for 4. So the Orioles have gone to the bullpen for their 3rd reliever, and there he is, Brian Mattis. So Mattis comes in. It's been Gonzalez the starter, then Patton the lefty, O'Day the righty, and now Mattis the lefty. First pitch to Rosales is just a bit low. So it's a final now in Seattle. The Mariners 2 and the Angels 1. So Seattle wins 3 out of 4 from the Angels.
It's really hard to believe what the Angels are going through, but at least from the Angels standpoint and the Rangers standpoint, Rangers having trouble in Minnesota. Another big hit by Rosales. So you'd think getting hit in the head yesterday was not affected him all today. Ringing double down the left field line, and now this hard single to center.
So top of the order, Coco Crisp, who's had a big day. A couple doubles, a walk, scored a couple of runs. In that game, Ray, Jason Vargas, a complete game loss. He gave up 2 solo home runs. So he is now 0-3. Looks like he's going to have a winless April.
Going to walk your free agent.
Pitched great today, but a couple of mistakes. Wilhelmsen got his 8th save. So the Angels will come to the Coliseum, and they will have a 9-15 record. So they wanted to avoid the bad start that they had last year, and they have not been able to do that. Oh, 1 pitch is outside. Grant Balfour pitched at the top of the 9th. Maybe he'll do it with a lead. That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Something to think about. Close pitch, called ball. Short lead by Rosales. Strike called. Coco thought it was low.
That's that low strike. That's a tough pitch for a hitter too, to try to determine, first of all, what the umpire strike zone is, and pitch at the knees, which that one was. If you swing, probably knowing you're going to beat the ball on the ground unless you can get a little bit under it, drive it into the air. But pitch that was called a strike by John Hirschbeck. Not surprising.
Coco fouled it back. Well, if you told us in the very first inning that Hirschbeck has a low, likes the low strike, well, then every hitter knows it.
That's right. He's hitting Coach Chile Davis. Been around long enough to know, and they would be able to tell the hitters exactly that.
Coco hangs in there.
There's an example right there. Down low. Don't take a chance of being called out.
And the pitch is bounced towards second. And the Orioles turn the double play, and they get the speedy Coco Crisp, and that's how the bottom of the 8th comes to an end. 9th inning coming up. 7-6 Baltimore.
Fort Smith, California is brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Well, as we check out the great fans in the right field seats, well, that must mean the Balfour Rage is out, and that must mean Grant Balfour is in the game, and he is. First time in this series. In fact, last pitched on Wednesday in Boston. So it's just been one of those things for Grant Balfour where if your team is struggling some and the A's have lost 8 out of 9 and you're the closer, you're just not going to pitch a lot. And when you do, it's going to be one of those get some work in things, which every pitcher hates.
Especially a closer who is accustomed to getting energized to come into a game and have a game on the line to try to save it. But right now he's trying to save the A's from going to the bottom of the 9th inning, trailing by more than the 1 run. So in a sense, it's not a save statistically, but put a 0 up, even better.
Yeah, you're right. This is not a get some work in appearance. No. So Reimold to lead it off, and then McLeod and Machado. 9-1-2 for the Orioles. O's leading 7-6 over the A's. First pitch is in for a strike. Not a good afternoon for Nolan Reimold. Shoots this one toward right. Young gets back. He's right there. And that's out number 1. So 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Last time the Orioles swept the 4-game series here in Oakland, 1987. It's hard to do. It's hard to do whether you're home or road. Right. It's hard to sweep a 3-game series.
Yeah.
So very difficult to do. Here's McLeod. In fact, walking up in game 1 on the elevator, Fred Manfred, the longtime announcer for the Orioles, said, "Man, this place is a house of horrors for us."
Yeah, right.
And the Orioles, coming into the series, had lost 16 of their last 19 here at the Coliseum. So the announcers are aware of it, and so they have stopped that.
And a great way, regardless of today, to start a West Coast trip.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Their only West Coast trip, although they will play interleague play, but still, as far as the American League, they only won out here. And it's hard to believe. We heard the Tigers complain and said, well, why couldn't we start in Seattle, go to Oakland, Anaheim? They went Oakland, Seattle, Anaheim, which is what the Orioles are doing. No complaints there. You're
Does it really make that much?
No, you're in the West Coast time zone from the beginning of the road trip. Don't have to worry about anything except playing baseball, and the Orioles have started very well.
In August, the Orioles will play 2 at San Diego, 3 at San Francisco, 3 at Arizona. So they will be back. That one looped towards Cespedes. He dives. He can't get it. It's picked up by Chris behind him, but not before Nate McLeod, who we're going to start calling Babe McLeod here in a minute. He has his 4th hit.
Well, Balfour is checking with John Hirschbeck because Balfour in the 0-2 thought he'd struck out McLeod. And great effort by Cespedes, and you just have to hope that whenever he does this, that he lands okay, and it seemed like he did, because it was a left hand that put him on the disabled list, and he used his left hand with the glove. That's all out, headlong dive, and forced to land hard the way he did. Seems to be okay. It's the big long glove that outfielders use, but McLeod again with a 2-strike double. And if there's one thing in this series, Captain, we've said too much, it's 2-strike hit for the Orioles, and they have plenty of them in this series. But I think Grant Balfour got a visit from John Hirschbeck because the way Balfour in the 0-2 came off the mound thought he had him struck out. And I don't know, going Balfour, his might have said something. Who knows what he might have said.
He's their guy.
Yeah.
Well, you said too many 2-out hits. How about just too many hits in general, Ray? That is now 46 hits by the Orioles in this series, and 14 today. 46.
We've said many times it's not who you play, it's when you play them.
No question.
And I think to some degree with the new scheduling where you're seeing teams only one time out of your division, or one time at home, one time on the road. I think there's some teams you don't want to see more than one time at home and road.
And that's trouble, folks, and that's going to one-hop the wall. So Machado has a 4-hit game. McLeod scores 8-6. So your 1-2 hitters each have 4-hit games.
Now Machado's just a good hitter. That's another fastball, and that's a cross-up because watch Derek Norris. That's your cross-up. That's why they were talking about the locate or the pitch selection, because it was not the one that was called by the catcher Derek Norris, and he might have called another breaking pitch, and Balfour threw a fastball. The way he reacted on the pitch, and that's kind of the way things are going. It crossed up, and that's what happens.
There you go. First 4-hit game of the career for Manny Machado. He picks up his 15th RBI, make that his 16th RBI. He's got 2 today. And here's Markakis, still only 1 out.
Interesting is both McLeod and Machado made out in the first inning.
That's right. 3 up, 3 down.
Yeah.
So the Orioles have scored 4 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and 1 in the 9th. A 1-1 now to Markakis, who's 1 for 4. It's tough for an offense to continue to come back.
That's right. We headlined the return of Cespedes in our open, but really emphasized again the importance of scoring runs.
Sure.
The pitchers just have to hold them down and stop them. And the pitching staff's too good to be allowing this many runs, and especially insurance runs from the bullpen. And that's the pen coming in for the last 3 innings and running the 7th, 8th, and now the 9th, and hopefully just the 9th is 1 run.
So 1-2 to Markakis. Adam Jones will be next. Just a touch outside, so the count evened up. Markakis bounces one to the right side. That'll get the run to third, but now 2 outs. The runner to third. So Markakis 1 for 5. And Jones will hit.
All right, number 10, Adam Jones.
So everything is final in the American League. The night game is the interleague series, and that's a couple of good teams. The Braves at Detroit, and the Tigers are going for the sweep. First pitch to Jones, swing and a miss. So remember, the Braves got off to that terrific start, but they have slowed down. There's also game 2 of a doubleheader tonight with the Indians and the Royals playing. Fastball stays inside. Jones is 2 for 4 with a couple of RBI hits. Knocked in a run in the 4th with a single. Knocked in a run in the 5th with a double. So a couple of clutch hits. Breaking ball, and Jones just stays alive. In the bottom of the 9th, it'll be Norris, Smith, and Cespedes, and the bullpen is quiet for the Orioles, so their closer, Jim Johnson, will not come in the 9th. And there's a strikeout, so Jones waves at a pitch, but a run on 2 hits as Machado knocks in McLeod. Bottom of the 9th coming up, 8-6 Baltimore. A's need some 9th inning magic as they trail 8-6, trying to avoid being swept in a 4-game series by the Orioles. So they trail by 2. Brian Mattis pitched the 8th inning. He's going to try to pitch the 9th inning with Norris leading it off. Mattis kicks, and the first pitch is a strike at the knees to Norris. His second at bat. Norris pinch hit in the 7th. A's once trailed 5-0. In fact, it was 5-0 after 5 innings. A's have come back to make it a game. Orioles have won a franchise record 103 consecutive games when leading after 7 innings.
They were tied today.
They were tied today. But a big part of their success last year was a good bullpen.
Yeah.
Just like the Athletics. Foul ball. So Mattis trying to get the save. He does not have a save this year. He does not have a save in his career. So he's shooting for something. ball is loose out in right field. Pedro Strop is warming up.
Does that shock you?
No.
The way he threw yesterday.
There may be another one rolling out there.
Did not find the plate.
And there is a base hit to left field. Good start for the A's here in the bottom of the ninth.
Time now for the AT&T U-verse rewind, and this is when it's all happy. The A's down a couple, and Seth Smith on his special day, Hyundai Sunday. A ball to right center, way up over the center field wall, and Seth Smith, third home run of the season, a 2-run shot, kind of reminiscent of the home run he hit against Soriano last year against the Yankees in the ninth inning. And another lefty on the mound in Mattis, and see if Seth Smith can at least keep the inning going. Kev, since the second inning on Thursday, and the Orioles made 2 errors, they played error-free baseball the rest of the way. That was unusual for the Orioles to make the 2 errors. Helped the A's score 200 runs, but that was it.
So 1-0 to Smith. Smith is driven in 3 today. He also had an RBI and a fielder's choice in the 6th inning. A's post-game live coming up after the game. We'll be back with you tomorrow night for Game 1 of the A's-Angels series. Dan Straley is going to pitch for the Athletics. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Pat threw him a fastball. Seth Smith hit the home run, but Mattis back-to-back breaking pitches.
Strike 3 call. The fastball on the outside corner. Smith steps back. Maybe slight disbelief.
Well, I think the slider set it up, and it had to be with a couple of strikes protecting it. Slider, and Mattis throws a perfect strike to the outside part of the plate.
So that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the ninth, and that'll bring up Cespedes. So this will be a fun matchup, because got to believe Cespedes is thinking about the best way to tie this game. Taken all the way, takes a strike.
Maybe he wanted to look at Mattis. Maybe that's all I could think about. Maybe he's confused with the pronunciation of the spelling of his name. Maybe. But he's not up there as a hitter trying to get or be a base runner. I mean, he has the power to tie the game, and that's what you think about with a runner on base and down by 2 in the ninth inning.
Foul that one back. Low fastball. Moss will be next. So the A's have a couple of power hitters up in a spot where a home run would tie the game. One-two pitch. That one's hit to left. And that baby is gone.
Oh, he went soft, Kite. He went off speed, and Cespedes so strong, just missed the fastball the previous pitch. And you want to see a rocket off of a bat on an off-speed pitch. We just saw it. So he knew what he's doing, taking that first strike, I guess.
That's right.
Boy, did he crush that.
So here's Moss. broken bat roller. Left side. Moss is retired for out number 2.
Watch a swing on an 84-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. Look at Cespedes. He knew. Dropped his bat. Mattis, don't know why he's even looking, because maybe he just want to see how far it would go. Because Cespedes absolutely crushed it. It's like your drive on the 18th.
That's
right. You hit about 300 yards just at Byron.
So Mattis will leave. And the home run has been the big key for the A's comeback this afternoon. When Mattis leaves, could not get his first career save.
Yeah, that's a good point, Cat, because there are a lot of guys that Mattis, of course, was a starter, went to the bullpen. Johnson, evidently not available, but a pitcher gets an opportunity to do something he's never done. Closing a game, they say it's easy. It's not as easy as people think to get. I mean, especially with a 2-run lead, you think, well, it's going to be something that will be relatively easy to do. But Cespedes, his first game back. Ryan Cook, who's been in this game, still on the bench. That's always great to see a reliever pitch an inning and stay on the bench. But Cespedes, just a tremendously strong swing by Yoenis Cespedes out on the front foot. And they were talking a year ago, could Cespedes hit the off-speed pitches? He has shown the discipline on sliders away from him, and he just showed what he can do with an off-speed pitch that's down and just a buggy whip. What a swing for Cespedes.
So here's Donaldson. 2 outs. Pedro Strop comes in. And he pitched last night, and he was not very good.
And the Orioles in a great bullpen. They have 2 blown saves today. Bat the 2-run home run to Seth Smith, and now Mattis.
So here's Donaldson, 1 for 3. Got a double, a walk, and a couple of RBIs, and he takes inside.
Strop was as wild as he was yesterday. A's may score a run with 2 outs. They may not have to put him all in play. He was all over the place yesterday, and unfortunately, Adam Rosales.
2-0. Donaldson was ready to rip, but it was a breaking ball, and it's a strike. 2-1. So Donaldson now with 18 RBIs on the year. It's the closer, Jim Johnson. He pitched on Friday and on Saturday, so he was not out there this afternoon. And I'm sure it was not his decision to not be out there. Early in the year, manager probably is not crazy about putting your closer out there 3 days in a row.
He had an excellent point, because you don't want to burn your ace in April and May and not have him available in August and September. And the days you have to sacrifice that.
And there's the walk. So Pedro Strop right back where he was yesterday. And now the A's have the winning run at first base with 2 outs. So Reddick is going to hit for Chris Young.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Athletics, batting for Chris Young, number 16, John.
So Reddick hits here in the 9th. So wouldn't it be something? A struggling Josh Reddick.
Yep.
Could he be the hero today? trying. Yes, he would. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, they probably took the old philosophy. You're a pinch hitter. You go up not to put the bat on your shoulder. Your swing get loose, and maybe the first swing got him loose.
Donaldson a very short lead at first. Reddick tries to hold up, and he did. So a very close call.
He'll drag the bat through the zone and able to hold it and get a lucky call, because that was a strike.
Yep, I think it was.
That was a pitch that he just took his bat a little bit too much.
That was your winning run, Donaldson.
One thing Mike Gallego has said, our guys running hard. Moss did it yesterday. He's able to score on Donaldson's double. And that's what the base runners want to do. You run hard, give Mike Gallego, the third base coach, an opportunity to send him or stop him.
Reddick holds up, and it's 3-1.
Corner, but got the call.
Reddick, good swing there. Fouls it straight back. So now we'll have a full count, and that'll have Donaldson on the move, which is a good thing.
Another big swing, made contact.
Reddick swings at a pitch in the dirt, and the bottom of the ninth comes to an end, but not before. Yoenis Cespedes, some late inning magic, a 1-out, 2-run homer. There it is, and that ties the game at 8. At least he tied it.
Yeah, well, he's a hero.
Just to be a full-on hero, you need to win it.
Well,
maybe he'll get a chance to
next
do
at
that. 2-run homer in the bottom of the ninth tied it, so it's an 8-8 game, extra innings from the Coliseum.
Your point that you brought up is you see Jerry Blevins coming in to try to take the A's the bottom half of the 10th inning, still tied. But you mentioned Jim Johnson pitching Friday and Saturday, and yesterday. You think of Pedro Strop, 7-3 lead in the 9th inning. Hit a batter, walked a batter. Johnson comes in,
that's right,
gets out of the inning.
He made him, force him to come in.
Exactly. So if he does his job yesterday, Johnson's in the game today.
And you've heard us say this before. If your team's losing by a fair amount late in the game, one of your goals is to get the other team's closer in the game. Now, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but sometimes it has an effect later on in a series, and that's exactly what happened so far in this series. One and one to Chris Davis. Be careful here with this big fella. Davis, homer, double, 3 RBIs. He hits one on the ground. Sogard has it, and that's out number 1. So a big hitter to retire.
Number 32, Matt Wieters.
So here's Wieters, switch hitter. First pitch to Wieters is a bit outside. 1 for 3 with a sacrifice fly for Wieters. His hit was a single in the 8th inning. Down the line, but well foul. He was out in front.
He's outfield all the way around, playing no doubles, and of course very, very deep. Extra innings and a lot of space between the infielders and outfielders, but trying not to allow the hitter to get into scoring position with an extra base hit.
Well, Blevins is the 5th pitcher of the day. Cologne, Cook, Doolittle, Balfour, and Blevins. Well, both teams well into their bullpens at this point. And there's a strike, low strike, 2-2. J.J. Hardy is in the on-deck circle. Swing and a miss. Wieters waves at an off-speed pitch. 2 outs.
Off speed away from the big switch hitter, and Jerry Blevins went backdoor with a slider, cutter, off speed, and had Wieters out on the front foot, missing badly.
So Hardy steps in. Hardy with 3 homers on the year. He's 1 for 4 today. Foul territory, Rosales, and Rosie has it, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Blevins. Bottom of the 10th coming up. He's a chance to win it. first of a 3-game series against the Angels. Dan Straley is going to pitch, and he will be posed by right-hander Tommy Hansen. Coverage begins at 6:30 with A's pregame live. Complete A's coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. The rest of the series has Garrett Richards and Jared Parker on Tuesday, C.J. Wilson and Tommy Malone on Wednesday. So there's your pitching matchups. We will televise all 3 of those games. Wednesday is a day game. Bottom of the 10th, and we're tied at 8 with Sogard to lead it off, followed by Rosales, and then the top of the order, Coco Crisp. Pedro Strop has really not shown very much control in his 2 appearances in this series, yesterday and today. He was able to get the big strikeout of Reddick to end the bottom of the 9th. There's a base hit, left center field. Sogard taking about 2, but he puts on the brakes. So a leadoff single in the bottom of the 10th for Sogard, his first hit.
Yeah, that's a good start for Sogard and the Athletics. He elevated the pitch, did Strop, and nice inside-out swing by the A's second baseman today. And that's a good start because Sogard had to be thinking about his at bat against the lefty coming in. And that was Patton when he had bases loaded.
Bunted. Strop is going to throw to second, and he throws it away. Sogard up, but he will stay at second. Why am I not surprised that Pedro Strop threw that ball into center field?
I was thinking the same thing.
I was thinking the chance of him throwing this and making a good throw to second is very small.
But it was a hard bunt by Rosales, but he got the bunt down, and Strop thinking about getting the lead runner, and maybe a good throw gets him, but it was a bad throw. And fortunately for the Orioles, Jones was backing up, as a smart center fielder will do. And Sogard head first slide, looked up and saw Jones was there, and decided to stay at second and be at first and second. And there goes Strop. With the ball in his hand, you got a chance, especially if he has to throw to a base.
So it goes as a sacrifice and a fielder's choice. So here's Coco Crisp.
I think there's looking for a bunt.
And it's a good one. Machado is going to pick it up, and he throws to third. He throws it away, and Sogard waits to get up. Now he finally does get up. The throw to the plate, not in time, and that is how the A's win the game.
Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They did score without getting a hit out of the infield.
Beautiful.
Unbelievable.
So it's not always pretty, but when you've lost 4 in a row like the A's have, and now that losing streak is over, they will take it. So you know what? It's a walk-off win.
That's right.
I don't know how else to put it. Eric Sogard, we almost ran down there and picked him up and sent him home.
Well, my guy goes trying because Machado goes to third and ball easily in the left field. Guy said, let's go, let's go, let's go. And he finally goes. You think he's going to be thrown out. McClough makes a bad throw or offline throw. But Strop tried to get the runner at second, couldn't do it. Machado tried to get the runner at third, couldn't do it. And Sogard, he's filthy, he's dirty, but he also has Cliff in the Cleveland uniform. He doesn't worry about that. Scores the winning run and an unbelievable comeback by the A's.
So 9-8 is the final score, and the A's do it in 10 innings to get their 14th win.